Welcome back, everybody. It's Thursday, January 8th, 2026. Born on this date in 1977, actress Amber Benson of Birmingham. Now, today we have a court case over whether police can make you show identification. Now, that's not a traffic-related case, by the way. So when you get pulled over, by all means, have your driver's license ready. We also have November's unemployment figures, and we're better than the rest of the nation. And an Alabama Music Hall of Famer has passed away. My name's Ike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. A case we followed here in 2022 has found its way to the Alabama Supreme Court. AL.com's Sarah White's Coda Check reports that the question is over whether Alabama police officers can demand to see people's driver licenses or other IDs if they have probable cause. In 2022, Childersburg police answered a call about somebody on the property of people who were not at home. The man, Michael Jennings, said he was watering flowers for his neighbors. The officers told him to provide an ID. He would only give his name as Pastor Jennings and refused to provide identification. Eventually, the officers arrested him on a charge of obstructing government operations. He sued, and 3 years later, here we are in the state Supreme Court. Attorney Ed Hayden is representing the city and a group of police officers. He argued before the justices that state law gives officers with probable cause the authority to identify people, and he said that means a full name verified by identification. Jennings' attorney, Henry Daniels, argued the opposite, telling the justices that, quote, entitlement to live one's life free from unwarranted interference by law enforcement or other government entities is fundamental to liberty, end quote. Alabama's preliminary seasonally adjusted unemployment rate for December came in at a low 2.7% and was accompanied by some record-breaking employment totals, reports AL.com's Heather Gann. Alabama Department of Workforce Secretary Greg Reed announced the figures on Wednesday. Records fell for the number of people counted as employed and wage and salary employment. Now, the difference between those two stats is that wage and salary employment doesn't include a few types of workers, such as the self-employed. Alabama's 2.7% unemployment rate was down from 3.3% in November of 24, and it was tracking well below the national rate. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the U.S. unemployment rate was 4.6%. Now, that's low, historically speaking, but the highest it's been since September 2021. Well, Huntsville native, country music songwriter, and Alabama Music Hall of Famer Jim McBride has passed away, reports AL.com's Patrick Darrington. McBride, who was from Huntsville, wrote or co-wrote number one, such as Johnny Lee's Bet Your Heart on Me, and Waylon Jennings' very last chart topper, Rose in Paradise. Now, with legends such as Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, and George Jones cutting his songs, he became a Nashville mainstay himself during the 1980s. In the country music business, a lot of figures like McBride aren't the household names of the recording artists, but the smart recording artists are going to gravitate to people who can take a song or a hook or an idea and turn it into something that might hit. So the songwriters in Nashville became famous inside the industry, and many of them are like family to Opry stars and are in high demand for late night guitar pulls. We had another one, Bobby Tomberlin, on this podcast September 12th, and he told some great stories about that life. But one of those smart recording artists I was talking about who wound up in McBride's orbit in the late 80s was a fresh-faced Alan Jackson. They got together and started writing songs, and their partnership produced the number one songs, Someday, and the CMA Single and Song of the Year, Chattahoochee, as well as many others, including top fives, Chasing That Neon Rainbow, and Who Says You Can't Have It All. Now, if you know country music at all, you know that just the part that I read right there is Quite a career. Jim McBride was 78 years old. Thank y'all so much for taking the time to listen to us. We're going to be back here tomorrow. Going to talk a little bit about the state legislative session. That's coming up quick. It snuck up on me. It's next Tuesday is when Governor Kay Ivey is supposed to give her State of the State speech. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Until then, y'all come on by and see us anytime you want to on the internet at al.com.